We're about 70 seconds away from the end of Jim Boeheim's Syracuse career. Let's go, Wake Forest! Anyhow, I say welcome to you. As we have a great show for you. Number to join, as always, as Cuse hits a 3 to go up 2 with under a minute to go. May have talked a little too prematurely on that one. Anyhow, 877-337-6666. We got lots cooking, and, of course, all eyes right now on the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers as more and more people are starting to believe that it is merely a matter of what day the deal gets announced. They obviously saved about $3.6 million in cap room this morning by restructuring Uzoma's contract that had $4.5 million on it, making it a bonus. So that is, of course, to move not just for Rodgers, but to acquire any level of talent. And it's on like Donkey Kong. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I think it looks like it's going to happen, buddy.
Oh,
it's at least going in that direction.
You're coming around?
Not really, but I mean, I see the tea leaves. I can't deny that it's certainly going in that direction.
If the Packers don't...
I don't think it makes any sense.
Excuse me?
I think it makes absolutely no sense at all. Green Bay. It makes no sense.
Okay, wait, hold on.
And Aaron Rodgers, for that matter.
So it makes no sense for the Packers to want to move on from Aaron Rodgers?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
And it makes no sense for Aaron Rodgers to want to leave.
Well, okay.
I can't figure it out, and I've talked to a lot of people involved.
Well, one piece at a time. If one party doesn't want to be with the other, it's over. So if the Green Bay Packers want to move on from Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers is done in Green Bay, and he simply has to choose retirement or another football team. But start with Green Bay. A few years ago, they invested a first-round pick on a quarterback.
Yep.
At some point, they want to find out.
I mean, you don't have to.
Of course you do.
I mean, the goal right now, I think we talk about this a lot. You know, we've talked about selling our soul to win right now, if possible, for any one of our teams that we root for. If you're the Green Bay Packers, I want to win the Super Bowl this year. And I still don't think we could argue the fact that Aaron Rodgers gives them the better chance to win than Jordan Love does.
I want to go back, because I do think it's relevant, as much as I hate the comparisons on the Jet end of things, to Brett Favre. Brett Favre retired, and then he changed his mind. After he retired, or I should say right before he retired, the Green Bay Packers played in the NFC Championship game. You may recall that game. Corey Webster caught his last pass. Aaron Rodgers was unproven, but the Packers made a decision after Brett retired, and that was, we got to find out. Yeah. We got to find out if this guy is the guy. And I think if you're Green Bay, well, sure, you could run it back with Aaron Rodgers, and you can try to chase a championship. I think they also, more so than that, want to find out the answer in Jordan Love, and they're done with the crap. The stuff that we're going to ignore for the first year is the stuff they're sick of. The high-maintenance stuff, Yeah, because they've had them for almost 2 decades. So I understand why the Green Bay Packers say, look, we tried. We didn't win the last couple of years. We're done. Let's see what we have in Jordan Love. And if they make that decision, then it's not even up to Aaron Rodgers. If the Packers want to move on, Aaron Rodgers isn't playing for the Green Bay Packers. He's either retired or he's playing for another team, and we all know who that other team is.
Goodbye, Jim Boeheim, as Wake hits a 3 with 0.2 of a second left after a brutal possession by Syracuse. I mean, one of the worst offensive possessions you will see in a basketball game in your lifetime. That's called Jim Boeheim coaching. May he rot in hell. Now, back to your Green Bay Packers stuff, if I may.
Okay.
Listen. For all the things that you've said for the last month about why you want Aaron Rodgers and why Jet fans want Aaron Rodgers, we have to be consistent. We have to say that, he's the best quarterback available, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. Still got game left in his arm and all that stuff that we all have agreed to because he might become ours, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that stuff's got to exist if he stays there too. If he stays in Green Bay, we can't, I'm not saying you are, we can't make the argument that he's not the godsend that the Jets are getting.
I'm not making that argument.
He's the same. So we're on the same page,
I'm making the argument on why Green Bay, after all these years, would say we want to move on.
Yes, but if he's still the guy that gives you a chance to win a Super Bowl, then to me it doesn't make sense to part ways with that guy, because Jordan Love may very well become a great quarterback, may not be a great quarterback. It's a great unknown. That's where we're at with Jordan Love, with no disrespect to what they see every day in practice running, scout team offense, right? Mm-hmm. But, man, I got to tell you, I love it from a Jet fan perspective. I don't think this guarantees us a damn thing. I don't know that the Jets become the best team in our own division, let alone a favorite to be one of the 3 or 4 teams vying for an AFC championship appearance or a trip to the Super Bowl. But I do know this is a fact. If I want to win a Super Bowl, take fandom out of it, the easier road is to be in the NFC. And I don't think anyone's going to debate that, right?
I agree with that.
So if I'm at the end of my career, a couple years left, what have you, and I'm in the NFC, and oh, by the way, Green Bay does have a pretty good defense. And oh, by the way, they've got wide receivers that he's now had a full year under his belt with, right?
What are you doing?
And I've got a better running game in Green Bay than I have in New York. Why would I leave the NFC in Green Bay to play for the New York Jets?
No, I'm confused about you. What are you doing right now?
It doesn't make sense
from what standpoint? From a
factual standpoint.
Why are you trying to talk Aaron Rodgers back to Green Bay? He probably doesn't want to be there anymore.
It's a better situation for him.
And you know what's a better situation for me and a better situation for you?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers with the Jets.
Great.
And you can't deny that.
Better for me, not better for him. He's got a worse chance of winning a Super Bowl.
I can't say that.
Green Bay Packers have a better running game. He's got wide receivers he's now comfortable with. They have a very good defense. I mean, what are we doing?
Do the Green Bay Packers have a wide receiver as talented as Garrett Wilson?
You could make the argument they do.
You can make a lot of arguments. I'm asking you. You can make it. Go make it then if that's what you want to do. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a damn question.
Yes.
And you can decide it.
I think they do.
Okay, go ahead. Make that debate then. I'd love to hear it.
Well,
Tell me who's better than Garrett Wilson. Alan Lazard's better than Garrett Wilson?
Why'd you pick Alan
Romeo
Lazard?
Dobbs is better than Garrett Wilson?
You know who you're waiting to get to.
No, you get to whoever you want to get to.
You tell me when you're ready to get to the guy.
Christian Watson is better than... But he's not.
He's as good.
He's a very talented young receiver.
Yeah.
He's not Garrett Wilson.
Well, he's
and
just
run
as
game
good
wise,
as Garrett
Aaron
Wilson.
Jones is almost 29, 30 years old.
They have a better running attack than the Jets do. You could tell me about Breece Hall all you want. The guy tore his ACL 8 months ago. Less than that, actually, right?
Since we're talking about the future, I would bring up the fact that Aaron Jones is 28 years old. And running back age, that's old. In the world of running backs, he's washed up.
Here's the thing that I respect.
What's that?
We are desperate as Jet fans. We are. And we're going to make every excuse and argument we can make to try to convince ourselves that we're the best destination for him. But here's the sad reality. Staying in Green Bay is a better option for him.
And you know what's great? What you just said doesn't matter.
Correct.
You can say it over and over again, and there may be people listening to you saying Craig's right. And guess what the truth is?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Because if the Green Bay Packers want to move on from Aaron Rodgers, and it's clear that they do, why else are they letting him flirt with the Jets?
Right.
Then your argument, we could have it, we can engage in it, it doesn't mean a damn thing. If the Packers want to move on, they're moving on. And he's going to be a Jet if they move on. So have at it. Go put up Christian Watson on your pedestal.
Yeah.
Go talk up Romeo Dobbs. Go talk up Aaron Jones. Talk about other defenses forced turnovers. And you know what I'll do with a chuckle over here?
What are you going to do?
I'll say it doesn't matter. The Packers don't want him.
Yeah.
And if they don't want him, to quote a famous legendary broadcaster, he gone.
He gone.
He gone.
He gone.
And guess where he goes?
Where'd he go?
He go here.
Well, I will say this. I don't even think there's another team in the mix.
Exactly.
Because unless I missed it, nobody else got on a private jet to fly out to Santa Monica
so why
to have
don't
lunch at Aaron Rodgers'
you
crib.
Embrace the reality? And the reality is this. Aaron Rodgers is coming here.
By the way, I think it's certainly going in that direction.
Oh, is it?
It just doesn't make any sense.
Who cares if it makes sense?
Yeah, I like things to make sense, and this one doesn't make sense.
It doesn't matter if it makes sense.
This don't make no sense to me at all.
There are a lot of things, Craig, in sports that didn't make sense to me.
You know what makes less sense to me?
Go ahead.
Giving Danny Jones $160 million.
Stop.
That makes less sense to me than Aaron Rodgers wanting to leave Green Bay.
After reading that contract over with some lawyers, Joe Shane did a hell of a job.
Yeah,
got an $18 million cap hit this year.
That's right.
You got Danny back for the year. I think it's a great move. And you know what also I love, by the way?
What's that?
And I don't think we paid it enough attention yesterday, but it got into my mind last night as I was watching the Knicks collapse against the Hornets, and I was watching the Nets take care of business against the Rockets. For months, or really weeks, you and I and a lot of people around here were debating Rodgers versus Carr. Like, that was the big discussion, right?
Yep.
I was on the side of Rodgers. There were a lot of Jet fans on the side of Carr.
Yeah.
And one of the things and one of the arguments that Derek Carr supporters made was, well, if you miss out on Rodgers and you miss out on Carr, who's out there? And I've always said there's a huge drop-off. I admit that. Well, all of a sudden, something happened yesterday that puts another human being in play.
Go.
And that person is Lamar Jackson. And so for the first time in months, we can bring his name up.
Yeah.
And we can have a real conversation about Lamar Jackson, because unlike 2-3 weeks ago or even 3 days ago, we really felt unrealistic that he'd be available, Craig. He's available.
Yeah.
So instead of Carr versus Rodgers, Jet fans, we have a new fun debate. Rodgers versus Lamar.
Yeah, well,
and
there's a
Lamar
big
as a
difference there,
backup
though.
is a great option, by the way.
The only difference there, to be fair about it, is you can go after Lamar Jackson all you want. Baltimore always retains the right to just match.
Sure.
Whereas with Green Bay, you're making a trade. It's obviously all on the up and up.
I understand.
But listen, I could make the argument all day. I'd rather have Lamar Jackson than Aaron Rodgers. Sure. I just don't know why Aaron Rodgers would want to be a Jet quarterback. It just doesn't make any sense to me at any level.
Why are you doing this to yourself? This pisses me off.
It just doesn't make sense.
See, you've played this game for 3 weeks. Let's follow the Craig Carton bouncing
Go
ball.
ahead, let's go ahead.
The first thing he did was say,
some chapstick.
I don't want Aaron Rodgers.
I
The
don't.
second thing he did was he said, hey, Jet fans, you guys are lunatics for thinking Aaron Rodgers would want to come here. You're building yourself up for disappointment.
Yes, I did.
Then he moves to, you got to get Derek Carr now. What are you doing?
Yep.
Now he's moved to trying to play like armchair psychiatrist with, why would Aaron want to come here?
Well, think about it.
Why are you doing that?
Because I like things to make sense in my brain. My brain works better when things make sense.
Yeah.
Even if I'm wrong, if I can get from A to B, I'm good. I can't connect the dots on this one.
Craig,
it doesn't make any sense at all.
You couldn't figure out
But it's not about the money.
Craig, you couldn't make sense of how the Knicks won 9 in a row. But guess what? You sat back and you enjoyed it, right? So why not sit back and enjoy the fact that a future Hall of Fame quarterback may want to come here?
I don't buy that.
But why?
I just don't buy it. I think the Jets right now are the only suitor for him.
Yeah, well, it's a
Because
choice
they won't trade
between
him to the NFC, obviously.
It's a choice between the New York Jets and retirement. And what would you choose?
Well, that's the thing I don't get. Like, why wouldn't the Vegas Raiders be in on this? Why did the Vegas Raiders get rid of Derek Carr? Why does Baltimore not care if every team in the league makes an offer to their best player? I don't get that, right? Why does Green Bay want to part ways with a generational
Because they
talent?
want to see what they have in Jordan Love.
Like, there's some, like, why does Atlanta not want Lamar Jackson?
I have a theory for that.
All right, why does Carolina not want Lamar Jackson?
Same theory.
Why does Washington not want Lamar Jackson?
Same theory.
Oh, is it the injury thing and the guaranteed money?
No.
Like, there's something going on right now, and I can't connect the dots, and I love connecting dots. You know what I need? I need some Ralph's Italian Ice.
2 days in a row.
Well, I had my buddy Vinny brought us some Piccolo Jersey, Hoboken, New Jersey cheesesteaks. Legendary place in Hoboken because it's an actual piece of steak. Thank you, Piccolo. You guys are fantastic. We bought them, but all good, right? You haven't had yours yet, I know. But these guys mowed on.
How you know I haven't had it
Because
yet?
I can tell you haven't had it yet.
How?
Because there ain't no grease on your face. And I had grease all over my face.
I was saving it for about 4 o'clock.
And Ralph's also wants to apologize for shifting us on the Courts and Pints yesterday, which is acceptable. I appreciate the effort there. What do you want?
They will be here within the hour,
That's
Ralph's.
I gotta love Ralph's. They're the best Italian ice in town. All due respect to Corona and your Lemon Ice King and all that. But anyway, it's listen, as a Jet fan, Aaron Rodgers represents hope. I get it for a year, maybe 2, that I'm in the mix now for a playoff berth and beyond. I love that. So you're foreign to us, right? Like the Knicks making the playoffs or winning a playoff round. It's foreign to us. We haven't experienced that in a very, very long time. But it doesn't make sense as to why. And Green Bay, it doesn't make sense. As much as he's a pain in their ass, when he's on the field, he's a great quarterback, albeit coming off his worst year maybe in a long, long time. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. He's got $59.5 million guaranteed coming his way this year alone under contract with Green Bay. So we know it's not about the money. And Green Bay is a good football team who had a bad year. Why would you come play for the Jets? You're not the best team in your own division. And Saquon's not going to be a Giant. He's going to the Bills.
No, he's not.
Or after the draft, he's going to the Dolphins.
No, he's not.
Okay, watch.
You're wrong about so many things today.
Watch.
I almost feel bad for you.
Saquon Barkley never plays another day for the New York
Why
Giants.
are
I
you
said that a month and a half ago.
Dude, no one's giving up 2 first-round picks for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins will after the draft because that's when they
No,
can.
they're not.
Really, if you're the Dolphins, you don't want Saquon. If you're
They're
the Bills,
not
by the way,
doing it.
If the Bills got Saquon Barkley, they're playing in a Super Bowl next year.
Teams don't even want to use a first-round pick to draft a running back.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me a team's going to be willing to give up 2 first-round picks and then pay a running back?
That's right.
You're on planet 1988. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
It ain't 1988
so
anymore.
Here's the reality for us Jets. We're going to be playing in a division with Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, Tua, and Mac Jones.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Tom Brady's coming back to Miami.
No, he said he was not coming back. You told me yesterday his daughter's got cats.
Yeah, well.
Got to care for the cats. Can't leave the cats.
I hope Tom does come back just so we can get his ass kicked in Miami. Stop questioning what's obviously in the stars right now.
It looks like it is.
And that's the fact that Green Bay wants to move on from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers is going to be faced with a choice. Does he retire? Or does he try to chase a championship with the New York Jets?
Whoa.
And guess what?
Yeah.
I've studied Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I've listened to Aaron Rodgers speak more than I ever wanted to.
Yeah.
And I know what this man wants. He
Yeah.
wants a cohesive unit.
And then
he
who gives
wants
him
a
that, the
head
Jets?
coach that
Yeah.
is going to enforce rules.
Is that right?
I've heard him.
Is that right?
This is what he wants.
How many guys on the Jets last year demanded trades? Such a cohesive unit
You know
we're
why?
running over there.
You know why?
Yeah.
You know why they demanded trades?
Is that, by the way,
Let me give you the answer.
Was that one of our young stud wide receivers?
It was,
who
yeah.
you're counting on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, demanding a trade.
You want to know why both
So
those guys
cohesive.
demanded trades?
Why?
And both those problems have been fixed. That's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Number one, they had a clueless.
They got fixed.
They had a clueless offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He gone. He's been replaced by Aaron Rodgers as BFF. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, they didn't have a quarterback. They had a guy who would bounce screen passes.
Yeah.
So guess what? In one fine swoop, offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett with his beautiful hat, and in one fine swoop, a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Problem solved.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to find out.
What are you going to do when it happens? How are you going to rain on that parade?
I'm not going to rain on it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to predict the Jets to win a Super Bowl
No one's saying you have to.
because they're not.
How are you so confident about that?
I'm not convinced Robert Sala's a great coach yet.
I'm not convinced either, but
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't have a running back right now. My running back's got a torn ACL. I'd like to hope that he comes back.
Bam Knight still exists, bro.
I got 2 quote unquote Bam Knight mercurial wide receivers in Denzel Mims and Elijah Moore, both of whom wanted out of here and demanded trades. So I got 2 out of my 3 wide receivers don't want to be here. I got a tight end who caught 5 balls last year. That's Uzama, right? He had a huge year, a major year. He's awesome. I got an offensive line without a left tackle. I now have an immobile quarterback because he's 39 years old. But yeah, we're going to win a Super Bowl. I can't wait.
And they say I've got Robertitis.
Let me tell you something right
and
now.
And they say I'm too negative.
Thank God
Listen
for
to that description.
Thank God for the Knicks and the Rangers. That's all I can tell you right now because they're going to get me into late spring, early summer. I'm hoping.
How will the Jets become better then if they don't get Aaron Rodgers? I'd love to hear your plan of attack.
Well, they're not going to.
Oh, so just give up. So just like no. Just
they passed on Derek Carr, mistake.
Oh, because Derek Carr was going to fix all those things
and
you
now
laid
here's
out?
what we're going to have.
Wait, so Derek Carr was going to fix all those things you just laid out, that menu of crap that the
not
Jets
all
have?
of them, no. Derek Carr is just a guy that was going to be here for a little while and do a great job. We're going to win a Super Bowl with him either. And now I'm going to wind up, watching Aaron Rodgers suck for 2 years here, not go to a Super Bowl. And 3 years from now, I'm going to hope that there's some other downtrodden quarterback miserable where he's at.
Maybe.
And I'll go after that guy.
Maybe. But
pretty
in
much
the
what it is.
meantime, Aaron Rodgers would give this football team the best chance to win.
Guy.
You don't want to be?
Yeah, because that's not me. I'm Mr. Positivity.
Okay.
But it doesn't make sense to me at all.
Your hatred for one Aaron Rodgers is coming through in embarrassing fashion.
Not really.
Embarrassing fashion.
Aaron Rodgers gives the Jets the best chance to win.
Then embrace it. If you agree with that statement,
I do.
that he gives them the best chance to win, and I have never
it just
suggested.
doesn't make sense.
I've never suggested that the Jets are a lock to win anything. But he gives them the best chance to win.
No doubt.
Then embrace it. Stop trying to figure out why it makes sense or not. The Packers want to move on from him. It's painfully obvious.
Yeah.
They're letting him sleep with other people. That's how desperate they are to have Aaron Rodgers leave. And that's on them. That's their decision.
Yeah.
Ask yourself why the Ravens are in such a rush to let Lamar Jackson
doesn't
go.
make any sense. I agree with you. It's mind-boggling to me that they're willing to potentially walk away from Lamar Jackson. Now, obviously, there's picks involved and all that. There's one aspect that's a little convoluted. I got to find out more info about whether or not they can have a team, make the offer and then pull it back, keep Lamar, but then trade him to the team that made the offer. I'm not quite sure how that works or if it's allowed, but neither here nor there. I know the team that's going to make them the offer, and I think the Ravens are going to accept it too. The Indianapolis Colts are going to offer the 4th overall pick in this year's draft, plus their first-round pick next year for Lamar Jackson, and I believe the Baltimore Ravens will accept that.
Say that again?
The Indianapolis Colts are going to offer the Baltimore Ravens the 4th overall pick in this year's draft, whatever their first-round pick would be next year after the season, and they are going to make that offer. They're going to give Lamar Jackson $190 million guaranteed, and I believe that Baltimore will allow that transaction to happen. How about that?
Yeah, it's fascinating to me. Because what I'm concerned about right now is that there's a conspiracy in the NFL. There's a conspiracy against Lamar Jackson's pursuit of a fully guaranteed deal.
It's because I hear what you're saying, and this is my problem with that rhetoric. Everyone thinks he wants the entire deal guaranteed because that's what Deshaun Watson got.
Right.
But I think we're missing the forest for the trees when we say that. There's a certain number he wants guaranteed. In other words, if you said, hey, we'll give you $110 million contract, and the whole contract's guaranteed. The answer is no.
No, it's not enough.
There's a number. It's not that he wants the entire contract guaranteed. He wants $180, $190 million guaranteed.
He wants to eclipse Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson got a $230 million contract that is fully guaranteed.
Yes, it's a number, though. Don't take out the fully guaranteed part.
But
what's the number?
$230.
He ain't getting $230.
But that's what he wants.
I think
and there's no other reason to explain why teams that need quarterbacks right off the top are saying, we're not interested. Yeah. How can you not be interested in Lamar Jackson? I get he's had injury concerns. That's a concern I'd have.
Of course.
But even with those concerns, I'd be interested. I wouldn't say no way, no how.
Yeah.
He's still an interesting option. And you've got NFL teams all across the nation in less than 5 hours basically saying to sources, we're not interested.
The Raiders said no. Washington said no. Carolina said no. Atlanta said no.
How does that make sense?
It does not make any sense.
It's a conspiracy from the top of the NFL.
Well, it's not collusion, though.
Oh, I think it is.
No.
Why not?
I don't think it's collusion against guaranteed contracts. Every contract that was announced yesterday was guaranteed.
Excuse me?
Danny Jones has a guaranteed contract.
How much of his money is guaranteed?
82.
Derek Carr has $60 million that are fully guaranteed.
70.
Daniel Jones has $82 million that are fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's not a fully guaranteed deal. That's half his contract.
No, but they're giving out guaranteed money.
Fully guaranteed.
Again,
Deshaun Watson got
semantics,
a fully...
but that's not... It's the
it's
number.
Not. No, but it's not, though. Because Deshaun Watson got $230 million fully guaranteed. Lamar wants more than that. Most quarterbacks don't get
We don't know that.
Yes, we do.
We don't know that he wants more
That's what he wants.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
What do we know then, Craig?
We don't. That's the problem. We know that he said no to 130 guaranteed. We don't know what number he would say yes to.
And by the way, I'll tell you something interesting about 130 guaranteed.
Go ahead.
That would be the second highest fully guaranteed deal right now.
No, Josh Allen's got $150.
Fully guaranteed?
Yeah, he's 150 guaranteed.
He has 100 fully guaranteed.
Oh, then I read it wrong.
Okay.
I saw him at 150, and how much is Mahomes fully guaranteed?
Fully guaranteed, he's at 63.
He's already made X amount, so I'm not sure that.
No, I'm just giving you the answer.
I got you.
The largest fully guaranteed deal is Deshaun Watson at 230. You want to know who's second?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson at $124. That's $100 million off.
Yeah.
And that's the problem here. NFL owners don't want this new reality of quarterbacks getting 180 guaranteed, 200 fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
And that's the fight against Lamar Jackson, and that's the only explanation, Craig, for why teams are running all over each other to say, oh, we're not interested.
Yeah.
Really?
But that's not collusion.
Oh, it's not?
No, that's not owners getting together in a room saying, we're not going to sign another contract.
Oh, they may not be in a room, but they're getting phone calls, bro, and you know it.
I don't think it's collusion. But whatever, who cares? The Jets are about to get Aaron Rodgers. That makes you happy.
The reason why it matters and the reason why I care is if the Jets don't get Aaron Rodgers,
you're screwed.
Are they going to say, you know what, hey, we're interested in Lamar Jackson, and we're going to give him $180 guaranteed or $200 guaranteed? Do they go play in that part of the pool?
Well, because they're about to come up with that type of loot for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, but Craig, mark my words here. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, if you turned out to be right all along and he retires or he goes back to Green Bay.
Which is the norm.
Okay. Well, where do you think they're pivoting towards?
Gardner Minshew.
No, they're not.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo.
No.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
Yeah. You think they're going from Aaron Rodgers to Lamar Jackson?
I think so.
Okay.
They're big game hunting.
Oh, you are drinking the Kool-Aid, buddy.
Am I?
But I love you for it. I love you for it because you're never positive, and I want to embrace your positivity. You're wearing your jet quarter zip today. You're in a good mood. I like it. We got Italian Isis coming. We're ready to go.